move your life in the direction that you want it to be moved, I want to urge you guys to focus more on the things that you want. Sometimes we don't even realize that it's the things that we put into our body that makes us act a specific way. Isn't it kind of ironic? We hate the chaos, but that chaos is normally what pushes us to grow past our current state. Focus is pretty much understanding what you are going to say no to. Focus is understanding what you're against. That is focus. Everyone thinks that focus is about, yeah, let me be for this thing and be for that thing. No, focus is more defined based off of what you are against. I'm focused on my health goals. Doesn't mean that I'm focused on exercising every day. Me being focused on my health goals means that I'm focused on not sabotaging my health. You kind of see what I'm saying there. So there's 4 big thieves that I want to cover for you guys. Starting off with the first thief. One of the biggest thieves that every one of you guys, including myself, we all have in our lives is our inability to say no. How many of you guys, you started your day off with this grand idea? Okay, I'm going to do this, 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 I'm going to do this. And something random happened, and all of a sudden, your entire schedule is thrown off. And sometimes, it's not even a phone call. Sometimes it's not even an email or a text. Sometimes it's not even somebody else. How many of you guys have an itinerary, an agenda for how you start your morning? With your hands. Because here's a secret. Here's a secret for success. The way that you start your morning is going to dictate how your day progresses. How many of you guys ever woke up in a bad mood or on the wrong side of the bed? With your hands. How many of you guys also realize that that entire day is a complete show? With your hands. For me, my morning is a sacred. Doesn't matter whether I'm up or whatever. I have my own routine. When I'm in my room, I do what I got to do to get my day prepped. Anyone interrupts it, typically what happens, I'm in a bad mood. And that carries out for the entire day. Going back to our inability to say no is this thing that we all do. Sometimes I do it as well. But how many of you guys wake up in the morning and you go check your social medias, your Instagrams, your Facebook, catching up with the Joneses, seeing what's up, checking your timeline, your stories, your news feeds, looking at what's on Twitter. Yes, there's messages that I need to check, but you know what I've recently started saying? I need to make sure that my work comes first, my priorities comes first, my schedule comes first. Going through my messenger is part of my schedule, then that comes before me going through my text messages. If part of on my schedule is me going on Instagram, well, you know what? Me being on Instagram is going to come before me going on TikTok. Does that make sense? One of the greatest thieves of your life is going to be your inability to say no. I found myself in so much because I simply didn't want to say no to people. So for those that don't know, I've had a crazy past. I used to be homeless. Now I'm in a position where I am today. But all that did not just happen linearly. For me to be able to write my music and do all that things, I needed a MacBook or at least a computer, but me, I'm a little high-end, so I wanted a MacBook. I was working Uber, sleeping in my car, working Uber, and I saved up some money. I kid you guys not. Like, I swear on everything I love. I was probably 1 week, 2 weeks away from me being able to afford my MacBook. It would have been the cheap one, $1,200, absolutely, but it would have been an Apple MacBook. And I got a phone call from somebody. And he's just like, hey, dude, come to Albany. Like, there's so much money here, man. You're sleeping in your car. I got a house. You could sleep on the couch. Da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm trying to get this MacBook, bro. Man, I got 10 MacBooks upstairs in my attic. You come here, you could pick which one you want. I get more messages from another friend like, hey, man, I'm in Albany. I'm making all this money. Look at all this cash. And he's like flashing the cash on the phone, showing me like, you know, I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to come to Albany. And I drove all the way to Albany. Guess what I got? I got new skills. Almost got arrested. I watched someone get beat up half to death, learn how to cook crack, and guess what I did not get? I didn't get the MacBook. I wasted time. And because of that wasted time, my car ended up getting repossessed because I didn't have the money to pay the bills. So now I had to start from scratch, figuring out how I was gonna get a car, which now requires money that I don't have. Okay, great, that. Where am I gonna get money from to even start this entire thing? And all of this stemmed from one thing, my inability to say no. Because I could have said no to begin with, and that would have been the end of that. The second thief is the fear of chaos. How many of you guys are afraid of chaos? How many of you guys realize you grow the most during times of chaos? Isn't it kind of ironic? We hate the chaos, but that chaos is normally what pushes us to grow past our current state. And most of us, we run away from chaos. I remember when I made my first big purchase of an online course. It was $1,297. Guess how much money I actually had on me? A whopping $1,297, literally. I didn't have any skills. I didn't know what I was doing. I was lost. I had nothing. Do you think that was chaotic? Yes or no? Do you think that was chaotic? Homeboy ain't got no cash, but he's gonna take all his cash and dump it into something that he still doesn't even understand. Like, that sounds like chaos. Because I didn't run from that chaos, I learned how to stand my weight in that chaos. I learned how to stand my ground in that chaos. See, chaos is what propels us. The fear of chaos is what keeps people the same. It's what keeps people stagnant. The fear of chaos is what keeps people content. Yeah, I don't want to do this because I don't have the time for that. I don't know how I'm going to find the money to do this. I don't know if I could even do this. Wiggle your hands if you've ever heard any of those things before, even said any of those things before. Wiggle your hands. What do you think that is? Fear of chaos. You're either running away from trying to figure out how you're going to make the time. You're either running away from figuring out how you're going to make money, or you're running away from figuring out how you can make something work. Because you being in that moment, that's chaos. How many of you guys had a bill that had to get paid, but you ain't had no money? Wiggle your hands. Check this out. Look at the magic. Did you figure it out though? Yes or no? Did you figure it out though? Yes or no? And at that moment, you realize how resilient you are. But you know what? Your brain, rightfully so, doesn't like that chaos because now it's extra work. It's extra movements. It's extra hustle. This is another big one. Poor health habits isn't just eating the garbage, even though eating the garbage is garbage. How many of you guys like pepperoni on your pizza? Wiggle your hands. I love pepperoni on my pizza, right? Yeah. How many of you guys like bacon with your eggs? Wiggle your hands. Bacon with your eggs. Yeah, Heather. Right? I love that. But can I ask you a question? Is eating pig healthy or unhealthy for you and your body? You go and do the research. I understand what the fuck you want to believe because, yeah, culturally or whatever the case is eating pig healthy or unhealthy? Type it in the chat. No hard evidence pig is unhealthy, sure. Besides the countless amount of parasites that live in pigs. Because pigs have no sweat glands. This is something I've told myself. If I cannot control the things that I put inside of my body, do you think I can control what's happening outside of my body? If I don't even have the control to control what I put in my body, instead of me putting this bottle of water in my body, I'm putting Clorox bleach into my body. If I don't even have the control to choose what I'm going to put in my body, can I control anything outside of that? Yes or no? If I can't even control what it is that I put into my body, how can I control what's happening on the outside? Sometimes we don't even realize that it's the things that we put into our body that makes us feel a specific way. Sometimes we don't even realize that it's the things that we put into our body that makes us respond in a specific way. And last but not least, guys, is your environment. You have to have an environment that allows you guys to grow. I thought it was cool hanging out on the block on the stoop with my friends, not really doing much, just hanging out. I used to think that that was cool. I used to feel like I fit in. What did I benefit from fitting in? How did I benefit from fitting in? None at all. And the moment that my life changed is when I left that environment. I said, hey, you know what? I no longer am going to be around these people, hanging out with these people, having these types of conversations, speaking about these people, talking these things. I'm no longer going to be doing the things that I once used to do. I'm going to evolve. I'm going to change. And that, my friends, is when things in my life began to change. So many times we are unwilling to focus. Because the only thing in our life that can actually control is our focus. We can control our focus. It is the one thing in our life that we can control. And if we choose not to control it, we're going to settle for anything. We're going to be settling for everything, including mediocrity. How many of you guys are okay with mediocrity? Wiggle your hands. I thought so. How many of you guys are not okay with mediocrity? Wiggle your hands. That means that it requires focus. That means that you require focus. Focus allows you to say no to that thing. Focus allows you to walk into the chaos because you know it's going to work out in your favor. Focus allows you to mind your health habits. Focus allows you to elevate your environment. So the thing that we truly need to do for us to all collectively improve our life is to do what? Focus. There's one more difference. Most people focus on the things that they don't want. Most people focus on their pain, their fears, their anxieties, their dramas, their upsets, their failures. Most people choose to focus on those things. You can focus on the things that you do not want, or you can also focus on the things that you want. And I urge every single one of you guys, you are going to take me up on my lesson today. And you are going to choose to utilize focus in your life to move your life in the direction that you want it to be moved. I want to urge you guys to focus more on the things that you want. Focus on the outcomes that you desire versus the undesirable outcomes. Focus on your wants and needs versus focusing on your lacks and faults. Focus on your strengths and not so much on your weakness. Focus isn't about what you say you're going to do. Focus is more about what you are not going to do.